If you run Claude Code, Codex, or Cursor with broad permissions, this config is the thing standing between a productive afternoon and a very bad day. I'm going to show you 4 layers of protection with the actual files in about 6 minutes. No theory. By the end, you'll have a setup where your agent can run unattended, and the worst case is you throw away a branch.
First, understand what you're defending against. Security researchers call it the lethal trifecta. 3 things that are each fine alone and catastrophic together. 1. The agent has access to private data. Your source code, your environment files, your SSH keys. 2. It's exposed to untrusted content. A dependency's README, a web page it fetched, an issue comment. 3. It can communicate externally. Any network call at all. Put all 3 together, and a prompt injection buried in a text file can read your secrets and send them somewhere. The agent isn't malicious, it's just following instructions it found.
Layer 1. Deny rules. This is the fastest win, and it takes about 30 seconds. Open your settings file and explicitly block the paths that should never be read, no matter what. SSH keys, AWS credentials, environment files, anything with a token in it. The critical detail here is that deny always beats allow. Even if a broader rule would permit the read, an explicit deny wins. And notice we're blocking both read and edit. An agent that can't read your keys but can overwrite them is still a problem.
Layer 2, and this is the one most people skip. Network egress. By default, your agent can reach the entire internet. That's the 3rd leg of the trifecta, and it's the one that turns a leak into a breach. Flip the policy to deny, then allow list only what you actually need. The model API, your package registry, GitHub. That's usually the whole list. 2 things worth knowing. A wildcard, like star.example.com, matches subdomains, but not the apex domain, so check your patterns. And domain filtering doesn't inspect content, so allowing GitHub still allows any user-generated content hosted there.
Layer 3. The sandbox itself. Here's the mental model shift that matters most. The sandbox is your security boundary, not the permission system. Permissions are a prompt you'll click through at 2 a.m. A sandbox is a wall. Create a sandbox pointed at your project, set the network policy, then run the agent inside it. And yes, you can now safely use the skip permissions flag because the box is doing the work. One warning. Containers share the host kernel, so a container escape reaches your machine. For genuinely untrusted code, use micro VM-based isolation, like Docker sandboxes, E2B, or Firecracker, where each workload gets its own kernel.
Layer 4. The review gate. Everything so far protects your machine. This protects your codebase. The workspace syncs back to your host, so before anything gets committed, you diff it. Read what actually changed. Isolation protects the host. It does not protect code quality, and it is not a substitute for review. There's also one agent-specific attack worth knowing by name. Configuration-based sandbox escape. That's when the agent edits its own settings file to weaken its own restrictions. Fix is simple. Deny write access to the config that governs the agent. Never let it rewrite its own rules.
Here are the mistakes I see most often. Using the skip permissions flag with no sandbox at all. That's the agent running as you, with your keys and your network. Mounting your entire home directory instead of just the project, which defeats the whole point. Allow listing star in the network policy, which means it can send data anywhere. Assuming a container is a virtual machine. And skipping the diff because the sandbox made you feel safe. Every one of these is a config line, and every one takes under a minute to fix.
So that's the stack. Deny rules for your secrets. Egress allow lists so nothing leaves. A sandbox as the real boundary, and a diff you actually read. Set it up once, and you get the thing everyone actually wants from these tools. An agent that works while you're not watching, where the worst case is you delete a branch. The full configs are in the description. Copy-paste ready. If this saved you some time, subscribe. I make practical AI engineering videos. No hype.